hear myself and not hear myself. Here, let's just set all that out here. Just in case you want to get laid. Okay, here we go. Yep. And no rustling plastic. When in doubt. Oh, I gotta put on a different costume for that. Okay. There we go. When in doubt, you have to edit rustling plastic. Go ahead and choose a different option because this is my Elton John glasses. See? That works good for me. Oh, you're going to be my enemy.
Riddle me this. Riddle me that. I might switch up halfway through.
I'm going to switch a lot.
Are you?
I'm down.
That's perfect because it gets into how we're changing our personas.
I'm looking at the table right now, and all I see is like a candy bowl of ideas with so many different topics. It's unreal. Like I kind of feel like you have accidentally given me.
Oh, I did on purpose.
Oh, okay. You just left it there.
This is like
you baited me. Is that what you did?
Baited sounds something else. Yeah. I did not bait you.
Yep, baby. Were you the master at baiting me?
You ever see Downton Abbey?
Blatant ignore.
No, I'm not ignoring you. Downton Abbey had a character on there. His name was Master Bates. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
Well, no, his name was Mr. Bates.
Oh.
But if you become a master or a lord
that's true.
of his own manner, he would be Master Bates.
Yeah, that would be.
And it would be something that everyone would be like laughing and snickering about, you know?
Or that they would have to call him.
Hey, were you in Master Bates' chamber last night? Yeah, I was there.
Yes.
I did the walk of shame.
That's true.
These lays won't unlay.
Oh, that makes them bisexual.
It makes them something. Yeah, I'm just going to wear them both. I don't care.
Okay, I love it.
I don't care. Yeah, let's do it.
So
let's get crazy.
Here we go. Pinkie and the Ben.
Pinkie and the Ben.
With a plethora of hats, masks.
And other accoutrements.
And I dressed up.
You did dress up. You wore a tie.
Like
bow tie.
My little bow tie.
Yeah, you're like a cross between if Tucker Carlson decided to fight crime. That's what you would look like.
Do you think people would respect Batman more now because I have a tie or because I'm just a badass?
Do you feel like you didn't get respect before? I mean, he was not having to earn respect. I don't know if you...
He was forcing respect with his fists. I mean, I don't know. I think now I can ask for it politely.
Did you ever see the video where he's like, I don't kill, that's my...
I have totally seen that one.
And like, he's just like, that guy's just sleeping over there. It's like, no, you threw a star at him. Yeah. He's dead.
Yeah.
No, he's just tired.
Whole parody about how he doesn't think that he, kills.
Yeah, they're falling from high heights.
They're exhausted.
If they're not killed... Yeah. Then they're not fighting. They're not criminals anymore. I can promise you that. They're probably going to be in some sort of home or, as I'm looking at you, I'm realizing that the Batman face is decidedly angry because I'm trying to read your face this entire time. It looks like you're scowling at me.
It feels, like no matter what, and I've got these narrow eye holes, so I feel it's yeah.
It just looks like you're pissed.
So I think by all means...
It doesn't matter what you say right now. I feel like you're going to punch me. No matter what you say, I feel endangered. I actually had my hand up like this for several minutes.
Like I think
I'm in the block pose.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got our... And you've got the Riddler mask? Riddler.
Yeah, riddle me this.
Or the Green Lantern.
Either or.
I think he just had a green mask too.
No one liked the Green Lantern, though.
I loved the Green Lantern.
You didn't see the movie.
I totally watched the movie.
With Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds rocks the house in that movie. I loved it.
They only know him as Deadpool.
And And I love the fact that they now reference how terrible that movie is in Deadpool movies, which only makes it better. But
Yeah,
because he broke the fourth wall of another movie now.
Oh, through Deadpool.
Through Deadpool,
was
yeah.
just breaking the fourth wall over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
he was just breaking all walls.
Yeah. I'm going to wear this fedora.
There you go. See? Now, does that make you more Robin Williams now? No, he was never. Robin Williams would have been a great Joker.
He would have been a better Joker.
Riddler.
Yeah.
Riddler.
I don't know. I mean, Jim Carrey was great in that role.
Jim Carrey was. Oh, that's right. Jim Carrey was the Riddler, wasn't he?
He was, and he was a great Riddler.
He was a great Riddler.
I mean, it's one of those things, because people said, Will Smith as Aladdin, I kind of miss Robin Williams. I could see that. I thought Will Smith did a good job as Aladdin. I really did.
Yeah. I saw that. I thought he did pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I don't think I was super attached to Aladdin, so I don't know if I'm quite as biased.
I'm taking off my fedora.
Because
Sir,
fallout.
I can't take what you're saying right now. It's enough for me to take off my plastic fedora. What I love about this stuff, and this could be a whole topic of conversation in and of itself, is the fact that everything on this table is predicated upon using it once or twice and then throwing it in the trash.
Oh, interesting. That wasn't that was not the topic that of inspiration I got. I was seeing the amount of change that is before me.
That's a way more positive outlook.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's in and of itself.
Yeah, but removing trash is positive. It could be a negative one too, but I don't know. So could escaping stuff. That could be negative. So I mean, with it being trash and this is all disposable stuff, you're going to use it once, throw it away, have some fun, pretend you're somebody else. Mm-hmm. The overarching concept or question in that manner is, where's your value?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then maybe there's the common denominator. Where's your value? Because then to me, all of this is change and inspiration and different identities. So you get to pick a different identity or wear a different hat or get laid.
Mm-hmm. I got laid twice.
Right. And
like ever.
And then where's your value? Is your value in who you are as the mask or the things you wear? Or is your value... So right there, bam, I think that's the topic. Right there is value.
Value?
Value.
Okay.
What's your value or what do you value, I think, is part of this as I'm Batman.
Well, I mean, you're saying it with such a scowl on your face. I had to take it seriously. I'm afraid you're going to kick me if I say...
I want to try to do the Batman voice, but I don't know if I can... Can I be Dad Man?
It's a little... That didn't even sound good. I just sounded like an angry New Yorker.
You're a very grumpy old man. That's what you
It's a low grumble.
My eyelashes touch the...
Yeah.
Do you think Batman had an eyelash problem in his mask?
I think he just wore mascara.
That's true.
Yeah, made himself pretty.
Bat liner.
Yeah.
It was made with bat guano.
Well, I mean, it's more natural that way. It's organic. I don't care. Bat poop will work.
Right.
No, that's good. I mean, value, because you're seeing the potential within everything we have laid out here.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking was how it also kind of applies to how we're all of these things potentially. Or also none of these things.
Yeah.
And it could be this transient state where one moment you're Batman and the next moment you're, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Or you're somebody's father and Darth Vader.
Right. I know. It's, Star Wars is just a story about paternity suits. He's just a wayward father. He's like, I'm not paying that. I'm gonna become evil instead.
Luke, I'm not your father. I don't owe you child support. No,
I don't think he ever paid alimony.
No, he didn't. He definitely didn't.
Yeah. I know. He's getting those letters on the Death Star. He's like, I'm not paying that.
He couldn't get served. He
Right.
was always pushing them away.
Yeah, just choking whatever the messenger with his hands. Yeah.
Actually, that's who he was choking. He was actually never choking his subordinates. Mm-hmm. He was just choking the messenger who was offering him the paternity thing so he couldn't be delivered.
Needed to get him on Maury Povich.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just see, are you the father?
All right. It's the question.
That's what I would have asked as Luke.
Right.
I would like to have a DNA.
Could have just been Yoda.
Well,
could have been his father.
Thank you for the visualization of Yoda getting down. That was the worst thing about the last Star Wars movie. I know.
It was freaky Yoda. Everybody's got to have some fun. Yoda had some crazy fun.
He wasn't the only Yoda.
No, I mean he was at that time.
Right, I know, because nobody would,
There was only
with Yoda.
one. He was only Yoda.
There had to be more.
No, I don't think there was.
Was he spawned?
No, and that's the weird thing about the baby Yoda. He's not actually baby Yoda. He's the new, like, incarnation of that race. But, like, Yoda was the last of that race. There wasn't a tribe of Yodas.
Right, but he had to have, like, a mom and dad, right?
Somebody had to birth the baby non-Yoda. I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe he just showed up in an egg.
Maybe it's Palpatine. And Palpatine was his daddy.
It's getting crazy.
Because Palpatine got down because that was a big reveal in the last, spoiler alert, a big reveal in the last movie, which I'd never seen, but I heard about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
A table full of stuff. But the value of it is dependent upon whoever's observing it. And that is...
or what about the value of what you see of me?
As Batman?
Yeah, absolutely, as Batman.
Well, I've never valued you more.
Yes.
Yeah, Batman.
It's because I'm threatening. I have.
Well, it's because you're fighting crime, but you also have the decency to wear a bow tie.
Yeah, I told you I had to class myself up.
Yeah, you might be...
I'm the classy Batman.
Right, you're like, I go into my local bank branch, and you're just like, yeah, I'm Batman, and I can also give you a loan if you need.
I happened to be at the bank doing banking things when the robbers came. So then they were like, oh, shit, Batman's over there. Let's not rob
That'd
that
be
place.
the perfect person to hire. If you have an issue with bank robbery, you know? Just you have Batman there as a teller. He's just like, he's underutilized.
Right. Yeah, he is.
You know what they should do is instead of having security guards dress the way they do, they should have them dress like Batman.
All as Batman.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Why? I mean, we choose in a uniform, so why not choose any uniform?
I would take that incredibly seriously if I was a criminal.
I agree.
Because clearly that bank is not playing with a full deck. Like, if you're dressing your security guard like Batman, like, what else are you doing?
I'm going to totally do that at, like, the next party I have and make all of the security people wear Batman suits.
You really should.
Done.
You can borrow these if you want to. You can have one guy do as Darth Vader.
That'd be a bad
You don't have
too.
payment. You must leave. This is actually the most horrifying of all. There's just a white mask, and they had a bunch of like different colored masks. And I don't even know what this is, but it's like a death mask. It's so scary. Do you not? I mean, if I wore this, you would not have a conversation with me.
Oh, man, I'll have a conversation.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm no longer the Riddler.
Now you're no longer the Riddler. What are you? Is this Blink?
This is a scary death mask.
Or white? You think it's scary death mask?
That's scary.
I mean, you're gonna sound weird.
It's expressionless. I sound different now, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do.
I can't wear this for that long. I can't breathe in this either.
I don't know. The white is an absence of color, so it leaves a lot of lack of inspiration. I'm definitely not attracted to that type of emotion where you're using your eyes to talk to me.
That's all I can do right now. I'm just moving my eyes like this because there's no...
And you can feel the mask, can't you?
I can feel it, yeah, and I'm speaking through it.
What about you wearing a Blink mask, an all-white mask? What do you feel?
I feel like I'm suffocating. Yeah, the hot breath of my air is actually just regurgitating and recycling through here. This is like wearing a COVID mask that didn't have any filter on it.
Yeah, totally.
I can see why this was like $3 at the Party City store.
So you know one thing that's really weird about masks with me, right? Okay, I'm gonna switch to Elton John. I'm gonna be Elton John now for a bit, which I think I identify. Ooh, I got the bow tie on and everything. I already feel very much Elton Johnny. I need a hat. I definitely need a hat to be Elton John. Okay, they don't fit. You gotta do your headphones this way. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Which don't fit very well either. But okay, so masks are actually really interesting to me. I don't like to have myself covered up. I don't like to present myself as something that's not an aspect of me. Sunglasses, hat, accessories. I can now present myself more flamboyantly, more outwardly, more of an extension of me versus hiding behind a mask. Because I feel like I'm covering something up. And I don't ever want to feel covered up. I want to feel louder than I am. Mm-hmm. But it always has to be a volume of me. So one of the biggest challenges I face with masks is the feeling of feeling like I'm hiding behind it.
Right. Yeah, like you're trying to to cover yourself up in some way. It got me, like you think about high school and all the different personas people wear, and depending upon what group you were in, it was like what you were hiding behind in a way.
Yeah.
You had people that were goth, and you knew how they felt emotionally by and large, the music they listened to, and you had the jocks, and you had, I don't know, I'm so old.
You would be both.
Right. No, I mean, I'm just thinking, like, what else did you have? Like the greasers?
Yeah. Maybe we're not that old.
Right. I'm thinking of like the
but like the cheerleader
outsiders.
jockey people, and then there was the
Hip hop and things like that.
I mean, I had the grunge.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big, not the grudge. Don't be confused with the grudge.
The grudge crowd.
Yeah, grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wore that. Jinkos, the skaters.
Yeah, I dressed like a rapper. I had baggy pants and I'd wear my hat backwards.
Yep, good old Timberlands.
Yeah.
That was the jam. So yeah, like we all put on a persona. We all have, but what is your identity? And then discovering it. And then I discovered my identity. What a powerful piece that I figured out when I became Pinkie. And that ability, you did do the Darth Vader now. Oh my God! Now
it smells like people's breath.
Now I can't barely hear you. You're gonna have to like really yell.
I have to shout through this.
Yeah, you do. Like you're gonna have to amp your mic like 2,000%.
Yeah.
You can awkwardly breathe. That's fine.
I'm doing that anyways.
Okay, good. So yeah, when I learned that I was Pinkie and I had that persona and that identity, I ran with that bad boy. That fit like O.J. Simpson's glove. No, his didn't fit, did it?
No. They had to quit.
Yeah.
That's the way it worked.
But it fit, man. It fit. I was running with it. I was. This is my Elton John. Now you're layering. This is what happens when Darth Vader's cool. Do you know how pale he was? He was super pasty.
He never saw the sun.
He would have to definitely have like several layers of sunglasses.
Could you imagine? He was like, he looked like an egg. When they finally opened him up, he looked like an egg.
He did. So, I mean...
Yeah, these are the masks that we wear. And they're all true in the moment, but they're all us in a way hiding and not necessarily showing who we really are.
Yeah.
We're hiding behind something that's accepted. Like Darth Vader with a pair of glasses.
And Pinkie...
The world loves that.
The persona of Pinkie and the person who learned to be that person and who has carried that on, that was me. That was almost the inner child style of me, and just became. Now you're everything. Now you're Hawaiian, and you've got this sombrero on.
This is why he never got. This is like
sombrero.
him in Cancun. This is why he was so pale.
This is why he wasn't invited places. Not because he could choke people at will, but because he looked like this.
Darth Vader with a sombrero on.
And then what they did is they. Told the story over and over again, and eventually he just lost the sombrero and the sunglasses and the lane. He just was this black.
He was just
badass.
goth at that point.
Right. He was Batman, but you couldn't see his eyes. Right.
Darth Vader was just an inverse of Batman.
He
needed a bow tie.
He was the Batman universe. Yes.
Yeah. No, but you ran with Pinkie.
I did, and it formed who I was and what I was doing and it was free. It was freeing to take off what I felt was societal masks, and it was almost like undressing each layer. I would take off, the skater feel and look, and I would take off the rap phase, and I would take off, all these other layers that I had tried on when I was a kid and when I tried on when I was younger, and as I found more my center by choosing more of what made sense to me, and Darth Vader just awkwardly staring at me. I don't even know what to do. He's just like blank stare. And so I would just keep getting rid of these personas, and I don't know, it felt like home. It felt right.
Pulling off the layers?
Be me, pulling them off.
Yeah.
It felt like you could probably speak again, which you can't right now, so... Now you've exposed yourself. Now you can speak again.
Well, and that is it. A lot of the spiritual stuff I've been getting into. I'm going to wear glasses, though. A lot of spiritual stuff I've gotten into recently.
Now you look like you're just off the plane from Hawaii.
I feel like that keeps on coming up. Maybe I'll go to Hawaii sometime soon. That would be fun. that is what keeps on coming up is, I was telling you, I've been processing a ton of stuff recently, just so much coming up. And what it is, it's identity. I'm peeling back each layer because none of it's me. So I was in a marriage, and I was in a loving marriage at that. But that was one layer of my life.
Right.
And many of these pieces were these components that made me feel safe and comforted, and it was like these walls that kind of made sense. You dress as a certain group, you act in a certain way, and people will accept you. If you move outside of that, people might not accept you, so love might be withheld. But going through these layers right now, I found, that my former partner, we're still great friends, and I got to wish her well, moving out of state. And I'm getting to kind of subvert expectations because like what I'm doing right now is completely off script.
Yeah.
I don't have any masks on anymore. I'm just completely laid bare. My partner presently, she knows everything about me. I know everything about her. Nothing is hidden. But the beauty of it is when you're wearing all the masks, you think that the world can't see you.
Right.
And when you're around someone who's really authentic, like you feel it.
Yeah.
When someone is being inauthentic, they're wearing the mask, they have all this stuff on, you're like, I can see you behind that Darth Vader mask. I know you're just a giant egg in there.
Yeah, and not that you can probably see who they're trying to pretend, but you can see that what's going on is false.
Yeah.
You can see that they're trying to be something they're not. And God, and just shed those layers, and they're hard because there's society things that we've chosen to do, and like, okay, take for instance, if you wanted to be a banker, right? You wanted to be a successful banker, and you put your Groucho Marx, glasses on to be a successful, and people believed you because of your nose.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to be a banker, you'd have to look and act and dress like a banker. Because if you didn't, then people wouldn't want to do business with you.
Right, you wouldn't look the part.
But then is that you? Is that really you? And then where's your compromise? Because, God bless that there needs to be bankers, and then there's people who need banks, and they make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I made more money sometimes. And maybe this isn't the podcast of how to make more money. Maybe this is just the podcast of how to be happier,
Well, this gets into another topic, which could be, let's go into 50 topics today. I think we're probably going to hit them all anyways.
You got to choose your mask. You have to have a mask per topic.
Well,
you already put those on.
I know, I like them though.
Here, black hat time.
The hat doesn't fit on the headphones.
Hats suck on the headphones.
Yeah, I'll do it anyways.
We need more masks.
Yeah.
Here, it could be, that's not even Zorro. Who was Red?
Red was the Red Lantern. Yeah,
That's your
my hat
falls off.
Right. No, that is the assurances we offer each other. But then also gets into the wolf in sheep's clothing metaphor.
Oh yeah,
right?
Totally.
So people who like the Bernie Madoffs of the world, they look the part. The con man looks the part. This is a topic I've been having with quite a few people.
You say the Bernie Sanders of the world?
Infrastructure.
I know.
Infrastructure. Billions and billions of dollars. I love the Burn. Mainly just because he's his own authentic person, and because he just speaks he's a loving person who just speaks angrily all the time. Get off my lawn is what he says. Exactly. Billions and billionaires and millionaires. Anyways, but the con man. The con man is the person who looks the part but isn't the part, not authentic. There's something that's missing within it. Bernie Madoff comes to mind when I think of that, the person that represents himself as a person who's going to make you wealthy, and people that run Ponzi schemes and things like that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But they're so busy putting on these layers, and if people aren't willing to look deeper into the person themselves, what they'll see is this facade, but they'll believe the facade. It's like a decoy. It's like how ducks on a pond will see this wooden duck and think that wooden duck is them.
Yeah.
Or the duck call is them. When you really make a connection to someone, though, you can feel whether they're being authentic or not. And in my whole life, I've cringed. I think I've cringed through most of my life, to be quite honest with you. Because when people aren't authentic and it's cringeworthy, I just cringe to my core. Or I have. Lately, I've been able to feel the person. I don't cringe as much, but I just am an authenticity generator. Like, if I'm having something that's inauthentic with someone, I can bring them into authenticity because I am showing them more often than not that they're safe. That this facade that they're putting up, they don't need to. A good friend of mine recently, she was having some struggles, and her whole life she's actually connived and pushed and kind of tried to game her way towards what she wanted. And what I've been encouraging her to do lately is you can just ask for what you want, and you can be willing to receive it. and ask for help if you need help, but you don't need to manipulate your way to get what you want.
Yeah.
She has a huge heart. She's a great healer, but that's how she's gotten her way throughout her life, and by putting on a facade or crocodile tears or anything else along those lines.
Right.
And what I tell her is, I see you. I see what you're doing, and I still love you. So, don't be ashamed about it.
Yeah.
But and I told her a few weeks back, I said, you're bigger than this. And I'm just watching her unfold, because when people see you to your core, you can't hide anymore. You got to take off the masks. And then you can be genuine with the world. And
I think that people are really afraid to be genuine.
Yeah.
So I just got this experience that happened to me very recent. I was out at Missy B's, which is our gay dance club. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful Pride dance club and everything. So I was out for Pride and was hanging out, and I was dressed all a little sexy and stuff like that, and vest only, and kind of looking really great. And this lady comes up to me, and she's like, are you gay? And I'm like, no. And she's like, why are you here? And I'm like, because the music's good. And she wouldn't let up. She was like, well, then that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, look, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can not listen to what I have to say, or you can, judge me for what you think I am. But the point is I'm here having fun, enjoying myself, and it's a fun place. And so then she left. And then she sat next to me a little bit later, and she sat actually in my friend's seat. And my friend had gone to the bathroom, and I go, you've sat in my friend's seat. And she was like, fuck you. And I'm like, fuck me? What? Why? What's wrong? And she's like, well, you don't know what's going on, and it doesn't matter. And I'm like, what does it matter? This is my friend's seat. She says, I don't care. And she's just berating me and attacking me for who I was, what I was doing, why I wasn't there, and it didn't make sense to her. And I'm like, look, you just sat in my friend's seat. Could you please not do that? And she was becoming mean and aggressive to me, and she was really insulting me and everything like that. And finally I was like, ma'am, you're being really mean to me. Like, you don't have a point, and there's no reason for you to do that. And could you please stop? Because you don't need to do this. And she's an older lady, and she's like, well, I don't care, whatever. And so then she flips her phone open, and she was looking at a picture, and she was also wasted at this point in time, so she was kind of going through different things. And she showed me a picture of her daughter and her granddaughter, and I go, that's a really beautiful picture. Your granddaughter looks like you, and she's really pretty. Yeah. And then this lady, in the middle of a nightclub, right after she had been berating me, just because I was nice to her, started crying.
Oh, wow.
And started crying in the club.
Yeah.
And that's all it took. It took that compliment to break her of her facade, of her persona that she put on, that tough exterior, to be badass and aggressive to the world, to try to protect herself, when really she just wanted to know that she had done a good job and that she needed some sort of affirmation. And so instead of asking for affirmation or trying to communicate her point, she was taking this aggressive stance.
Yeah.
And I just happened to be the person who was willing to stand up, take the brunt of that aggressiveness, let her process that a little bit, and then finally just say, hey, you do have good qualities, and you don't have to be your bad ones.
No.
And she changed. She talked to me completely different. She, was a lot more pleasant. She stopped with the berating me and everything. And it was just really crazy to see how that all transpired. And really it's just something she taught herself, or was taught by society, that she needed to pretend to be somebody else, so that way she could be tough, and because she was tough, she could make it through the world.
Yeah.
But really, in the end, she was lying to everybody else, and no one else was willing to give her the love she wanted.
Yeah. And she was lying to herself.
And she was lying to herself, and then not getting the results that she wanted. And when you do that, when you tell yourself that I'm going to be strong, and I think some of it is I'm just going to be strong, fuck everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you're trying to be strong for very just reasons.
Yeah.
It's not like people turn on the persona of tough guy or I'm going to have this harsh exterior because they were gently brought there. I'm sure that there was tons of tough things that have happened to these people, and they build this defensive wall that makes them have this harsh exterior. But what are you asking for? In the end, what are you asking for? Now you're tough.
Yeah.
Now you're tough to other people. Are you going to get anything soft back? God, she two separate times in the bar in two separate areas, all she was mean and nasty to me.
Yeah.
And all I needed to do was say, fuck you, I don't care, and turn around and walk away. But for whatever reason, I kept talking to her. And then came down to the point where I just gave her a compliment.
Well, and what I keep on saying time and again, and this underscores it even more, is people will dare to love you in a place you've never been loved before. You know, like when I'm getting really close to someone and they're pissed off, I know I've gotten close to what they're trying to protect. You know, because they're defending themselves there. And if you're able to stay with someone in that pain point, if you're able to stay with someone when they're angry, that doesn't fit you at all.
Red's not my color.
It looks good on you, but it looks like your eyes now look strange. Yeah.
I'll start talking to you in my eyes.
I'm gonna wear these too. When you're able to love somebody in a place where they haven't been loved before, they cry, they break down, and that's what I do for a living. Is people will come in and they'll talk about how angry they are about this person or how life is unjust, or this is going on or that's going on, and that's not it at all. You know, where their pain is. Where their pain is what they're talking about. You know, where they're defending is where their pain is. If they're able to feel it, like what you got her to do, is she brought you, and she was drunk too, so she's like serving it up. She was in her pain.
Yeah.
She was attacking you because she's going to attack anybody at that point.
Yeah.
And you just decided, you know what, I'm going to see this through, and I'm not going to attack her. And then when she finally softened, that's the beautiful thing. When people soften, like just for a moment, like I had this beautiful thing happen the other night. I've got a family member where he has had some challenges, mental health and things along those lines, and I love him so much. But he has seen himself as kind of pigeonholed, like this is just how I am. There's nothing to do to fix it. So I got to work on him, I got to work on his partner, and I got to work on my mom, and I just had like this wonderful interaction with all three of them. But there was a moment of softness where he said, I'm so grateful that I'm related to you. I'm so grateful that I'm related to, to all of you. And he was listening to what I was saying, and I could feel the opening within him because I can feel when people open up. So I stopped working on my mom, and I immediately went to him, and I just hugged him, and he shook in my arms. He just shook and he cried. And he was not being hard to me.
Yeah.
But he had hardened himself a little bit to the world. You know, I have a condition. It's immutable. The world needs to change. I had been wronged, and he had been hurt before. To be fair, he had been hurt.
Yeah.
But he, like a lot of people, don't want to feel the hurt that's there, and so they want the world to change.
Right. I mean, how many people put a mask on to hide from themselves?
Yeah, they put on a label like I did. When you knew me, like I had chronic fatigue syndrome. Yeah. And you know, when we were first friends, it's like that's how everyone knew me. Oh, Ben's sick. And I made sure everyone knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was my identity. But for me to overcome it, I had to let go of that identity. I can talk about it now like I'm talking about someone else.
Well, and I think that's the biggest key is identifying the mask, the one that you've chosen to put on, the one that you've chosen to put on because of safety or protection or that type of stuff, and then getting to the point that you realize that that's not who you are.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't who you were. You weren't that person. You weren't the sick person who couldn't leave and was afraid of everything. You were a really kind, open-hearted person who wanted to experience a lot, But at that particular time in your life, you were afraid or withholding from yourself all of those things because of the fear.
Right, exactly,
You know?
because of the fear.
So you had put this your identity, your costume was this fear.
Yeah, and I wore it everywhere I went. And
Yeah.
eventually, I mean, the beauty of it was eventually it led to agoraphobia, and it led to a fear of driving in a car, and a fear of getting on an airplane, and a fear of grocery stores. And it got so small that I just had to break free.
Yeah.
Because, it's like what you're saying. It's like, and I've said this to people for years, but I am none of these things.
Yeah.
I am none of these things. I'm not a husband. I'm not a chiropractor. I'm not a son. I mean, these are the masks we wear for a moment, but what I am is that consciousness or that being beneath all those masks. There's a man by the name of Papaji who passed away in the late 90s, but he was a mystic of sorts, and he was a guru. And his guruship was actually centered around the idea that he would meet with his students, but he would meet and have them walk into a room, but only as being. So he would say, I will meet with you in this space, but before you enter the room, no name, no story, no history, nothing. You are the being. Meet me within this space. So as the story went in one of his books, this famous Swami had heard about him and met him. And he said to the Swami, I will meet with you, but I will meet with you in this space. And you have to, essentially denounce everything.
Right.
Meet me as your being, not as this false self that you've created, not as this guru or this person that's being worshipped. So the Swami came in and immediately began to kiss his feet and prostrated himself in front of Papaji. And Papaji said, well, you're a great Swami. What are you doing, belittling yourself, kissing my feet? What are you doing? You have an ashram and everything like that. He said, I've renounced all of it. The teaching you're showing me right now is the true teaching. I've never been shown this before. Because it's all self-limiting. Like the Swami had gotten to the top of what he believed to be the mountain, but the top of the mountain is actually not even being the Swami. The top of the mountain is being nothing. The emptiness, the beingness, the potential to put on any mask you want to and actually be. And ultimately, the freedom is showing up as love and compassion in everything that you do, but being the potential. What you showed up as is you could have showed up as James as the ego or James as the personality. Instead, you decided, for whatever reason, to show up as love and compassion. Right. And in that moment of softness that she demonstrated, that opening happened within her where you hit her. You hit her with love right when she left herself open. And then the healing happened. I mean, when she cried like that, you can't tell me that she didn't heal.
Oh, I think she left a much bigger person by all means.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that release, I mean, even if she just shut the door and went right back into her room and was safe for herself, I mean, she still let out a piece of her for a minute. She let a little of that anxiety or depression or whatever out and got to be in that moment. I mean, got to be proud. I definitely think that a piece of it was pride. You could see that. Mm-hmm. She was exuding that with looking at the picture and stuff like that. And I'm sure she's got tons of troubles and problems. I mean, I could see a lot of hurt in her and a lot of hurt on her expressions. And like I said, she was there to hurt me. So if she could hurt me, then she could be better, kind of a deal, that typical kind of aspect. But
well, I mean, it creates of itself. Like you always hear hurt people. Mm-hmm. I'll see that if I go to a really high vibrational state or high state of consciousness, sometimes people are uncomfortable there. In meditation, we have people who will come sometimes and they will sometimes act out or they'll say things to kind of bring the room down.
Right.
Because it's too high, it makes them feel uncomfortable in that space. But if you continue to meet them there, they will eventually elevate and move into a higher state of consciousness themselves. And in her case, she was throwing daggers, and she was hoping that you throw daggers back at her so she could get out all the anger and aggression she was holding inside of herself. That wouldn't have healed her, though. What she needed was the softness, like you said. In Taoism, they talk about water as the ultimate virtue, because water becomes low when it needs to become low. It saturates, it does not stagnate. It freezes when it's cold, it boils when it's hot. But if you take water and you take it across a mountain over and over and over again, you get erosion.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how hard the mountain is, just the softness of water over time will actually wear it down. And that's how it is with our hardened exteriors. We can be hard to the world. we can be hard to the world for a while, but eventually we have to soften. What's amazing is people you'll meet who have Alzheimer's or dementia or begin to break down in life, they become sweethearts.
Yeah.
I've had so many examples of old people where they maybe were hard throughout much of their life, and now that they're kind of hitting the twilight of their life, or they're going through dementia or something, they're actually softening a lot. But that's something they talk about. I mean, if you want to meet hardness with hardness, buckle up.
Well, and one of that aspects is they get the opportunity to go backwards.
They do. They get to go back to their childhood.
Yeah, which is sad that you forget your yesterday or the day before or the people that were closest to you. But in itself, it has a level of beauty because being able to recognize yourself as that original child or as that original construct and thought, that's where you can regrow. That's where you can relive. So at least there's joy in that moment where one can be back at that piece in their life, and it's not in that aspect, it's a shedding characteristic.
And they can get to go back and heal. A thought that came up recently was the original imprint, the original groove into James or in Ben, happened in childhood.
Yeah,
because you're an open, not that you're a blank slate, but you're an open field, and wherever you were grooved, you play throughout the rest of your life like a record. So the original groove, or that original seed that became the plant of James, the plant of Ben, was planted in childhood. And it's interesting, we go back to that original groove because that's the one that's most embedded within us. And if you think about it, any cyclical pattern you've been living within your life, you've been creating of that groove. You'll see the people fighting the same battles they fought as children, women choosing men that were like their fathers, or men choosing women that were like their mothers, or finding these these people that are just like people they grew up with.
Right.
They're living the loop over and over again until eventually they can soften and heal and bring love to those places. They just keep on creating the same things over and over again. No matter how many masks or personas or things they try on, they can't escape it. You can move away to a different continent and it still follows you.
Right.
Because it's you.
And it's a matter of once you released from that hold of that mask or that costume when you choose to take it off.
Yeah.
And so what the best part of it is, how you can take off those layers.
How's that?
Just like everybody else, one layer at a time.
Yeah.
These
were getting hot. I had to take off 2 layers at a time. But it's peeling back the onion.
I can't see. I want to. I don't know. I'm the red to your green. Does that make us M&Ms?
I think it makes you Flash. Wasn't Flash?
Oh, Flash did have red. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Now what am I? Now I am red mask and non-fitting. I can't even get it. Not green sunglasses. I am really fast.
And really cool.
Really cool. I don't know. Now I'm mixing up shit.
I just love. I love the fact. So this pair of glasses cost me $3, and I just love. There's a factory somewhere, probably where people are making pennies to make these things. And, they go to go home at the end of the day and they talk to their friends and they go, yeah, I make glasses. And they go, glasses people wear on the beach? No, you can't wear these on the beach. Glasses that people wear for fashion? Oh, yeah, only once, and they throw them in the trash afterwards.
Yeah.
Or maybe they wear them ironically on a podcast.
Yeah.
Do they help with vision or anything? No, you can't use them for that. No, these are glasses that are meant to be worn a couple of times.
Okay, it's my turn to be the...
Although these are actually UV 400.
I
might wear these on the beach.
Those are the Elton John ones.
Yeah. You're not going to like that mask, I can tell you now.
Oh, no, it's going to be terrible.
You sound like you're in a... I don't even know.
No, it's yeah, but now I'm faceless.
You know what you sound like? You sound like Bane from Batman.
Bane, huh?
Yeah.
Bane, I don't know, maybe.
No, like the Christopher Nolan Bane, where he sounded like a Muppet. He sounded like a Muppet that was like in a box or something.
I can't even look up enough. I have to talk into the mic by going down.
Yeah, this is
and
nightmare.
I can't see it. Now I can just look at your hands.
This is nightmare material.
And now, but okay, yeah, definitely can't be blank slate. Ugh.
You can't even breathe in that thing.
No. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that blank slate is uncomfortable, and we gravitate to wanting to wear a mask because being whatever you want to be or being that original you is potentially uncomfortable. Here, should we both get laid? I'm going to get laid.
I'm doing it.
Well, you got laid with Pink.
Wear my Tyler Durden.
How did you get laid with Pink and I'm Pink?
Do you want the pink one?
No, I'm good. I'm going to do purple.
All right.
Purple, I'm going to one-up you. Orange and yellow. Wha-bam. Oh, look, I even laid the mic.
I'd wear these again, but they were too darn hot. I'm going to wear them.
I laid the mic. Or I laid on the mic.
I'm going to wear them like a flower child.
There. Oh, see, now you're in the 70s. That'll fit your Elton John glasses.
60s, man. There we go.
And now put the headphones on over that.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel.
Look at that. You feeling us?
I feel fancy free.
Oh, man.
That's fly.
Yeah, I'm down. Now look at that. I've still laid the mic.
But this gets into it. So Eckhart Tolle talks about...
Laying the mic gets into it?
Maybe.
Okay.
Actually, probably does. So Eckhart Tolle talks about the ego.
Eckhart Tolle?
Eckhart.
Oh, Eckhart. Okay.
Eckhart Tolle, or Eckhart Tolle, actually. Eckhart Tolle, the German metaphysician, spiritual teacher.
Okay.
He wrote The Power of Now. He wrote A New Earth. Great books. And in them, The Power of Now was actually something that was like a big piece of my life. It really helped open me up. In my darkest moments, I started reading The Power of Now, and I read it, and I dog-eared it, and I highlighted the pages and everything. And he said, to go back to like always wanting to put on a mask, he said the ego will always try to one-up itself. So initially, maybe you're James and you're in high school, and you're trying to get by and everything like that. You find you have some artistic prowess, and all of a sudden you become Pinkie.
Yeah. And
Pinkie is magnetic. He's charismatic. People love Pinkie. So then you're wearing this persona, and you're like, okay, well, I got to one up one again. And for me, it was like, I worked at Sprint. I felt like an ineffectual teenager. I hung out with the popular kids at one point, which was pretty cool. I didn't feel like I was actually belonging in that group, but I was there. And then I graduated college, and I was trying all this. I was a student, then I was a chiropractor, and then I got into the spiritual stuff, and then I was a spiritual teacher.
Yeah.
And this is like all upgrades for the ego, and you can see that within corporate America, right? I am the intern. I am the administrator. I am the CEO. I'm the executive, right? And it's all just different labels for the ego. The ego is none of these things. Your true being is none of these things, but it keeps on taking a step up, and it goes, as long as I'm this, And then you go, well, I caught you in this. You're not that.
Yeah,
Maybe you lost your job or something like that. I caught you in this. You're not that. You go, well, I'm retired.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a grandfather. I'm this. I'm that. It's like, no, you're not. You are for a moment, but your whole identity being built around that is limitation. You're not the limitation. So we keep on grabbing for something because we can it makes sense to us. We have something to build around. Otherwise, we feel like we're just bouncing around in the universe with no purpose. And yet the purpose is actually underwritten within us. We are being, we are love, we are connection. We stay in that state. We become like a holy figure. You think of the saints, or you think of some holy figure like Mother Teresa. And you just give your life to service, and you support other people, and you get to be this flowing stream of love in everything that you do. And it feels amazing. But it's not appealing to the ego. The ego's but I want to be a little bit better than the next person. I want to have something that you don't have, so I can go, look, I'm bigger than you.
So part of it might be just the fact that you're just trying to fight yourself to not be what you're potentially striving for, or what everybody else wants you to strive for, because it's identifying with yourself, and then believing in yourself is where that aspect is, and then through really great through giving, through kindness, through appreciation, through thanks, you can find that there are way more many paths than there are through anger, through hatred, through jealousy, through those types of stuff. So some of those are just the fluid characteristics that allow you to kind of navigate some of it. But it's the same person. It's the person who puts on the banker hat that goes, God, I'm a banker, so I'm going to live like a banker, act like a banker, spend like a banker. But really, I want to be loved, and I want to be appreciated, and I want to know, that my kids think I do hard work. Well, you then focus on those types of things. Learn to take the banker look off, and don't be a banker for a bit. It's okay. Now, I guess some of us do it a little bit. We do it on vacation, kind of. But we also do it with a distraction characteristic, because we're like, oh, let's go on vacation and let's get wild and put a new mask on. So the thought is to potentially maybe stop putting on masks, take off some masks, and share yourself with the world.
I beat you to it.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any masks now.
Yeah. Oh man. And I broke my mask.
I knew where you were going.
I broke my masks.
Because that's ultimately it, isn't it?
It is.
It's about not having to be something, or not having to convince the world that you're something, and putting on that false front, because that's something that you think that you are for that moment is not permanent. I cannot be a chiropractor forever. It's impossible. And so, like, I've met many people who were, brass within corporations, and when they don't have their job, they go into a deep depression because now their whole personage, all the respect they had gotten from the outside world, is gone.
Yeah.
But
and I think that happens all the time. You're a teenager, and now you're no longer a teenager. You were in school, and you had all of this types of stuff because the school gave you purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're in a transition stage, and you're supposed to be something else. Well, and you're depressed. You're depressed because you haven't found the next piece. And the person that's worked for 40 years and now is retired, and just gets to sit and play golf, well, that's a hobby. That's not your next purpose, And if you would spend more time taking off the masks a little bit more, then when you took off that mask from 40 years, or you took off that relationship mask, or whatever mask you felt like you were wearing at that time, you would then look and see yourself.
yeah,
And then you'd still have purpose. And you'd probably make better decisions along the way because you'd make them with purpose.
yeah, you'd make them with something else at the center of it all. Like anytime you're trying to see something outside of yourself as you, whether it's your bank account, whether it's your title, it'll always bring disappointment or upset if it alters in any way. But there's a continuity to the elementary school kid who becomes the high schooler, who becomes the college student, who becomes the whatever the path is, becomes the the person in a trade, the person who is the president. It doesn't matter what the path is. The continuity piece is your consciousness, your consciousness, your energy, your soul, your spark.
Right.
Those are the continuous. That's a continuous piece of all of it. And I did a meditation recently just based on that topic. It was taking off, just like what Papa G was saying, taking off all the artifice. Taking off this idea of who you are based upon something external to yourself, and just trying on being for a second. It's an older lady I was working on recently, and she was so frustrated. She's 88 years old, and she's like, I don't think I'm ever going to know who I am. I don't think I'm ever going to feel that connection to, in her case, she says God. I don't think I'm ever going to feel a connection to God. I'm like, let's do it right now. I don't care what people call it, God, energy, consciousness, universe, doesn't matter. But when you tap into our potential as a soul, as an energy, as a spirit, or connected to God, universe, source, you feel exhilaration. I sat there in the room, I put my hand on her leg, I just looked her in the eyes and I said, let's connect for a second. I could feel her body tightening up. Let go. Let go of this idea of this or that. Be here in this present moment with me. Connect. And tears just started to form. I felt things opening up within her. And my message to people has been lately, read as many books as you want, but the next book is not going to take you there. It's letting go.
Yeah.
It's letting go of all these ideas of how things need to be, being in the present moment, being within your being. Drop it all for a second and see what happens, and you'll actually finally feel free.
And it's not that it's not fun and okay to put on a mask and go be
absolutely.
something for a bit. So go do that. But just don't forget to take it off.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Don't forget to take it off when you go home to your lover.
Yeah.
Don't forget it to
especially
take
this
it off.
mask. You got to take this one off. They're not going to do anything with this mask on.
Don't forget to take it off when you go to your kids.
Yeah.
Especially your kids, right?
Yeah.
Because they're the one you're going to teach. They're the one you're going to teach. How did we learn to wear all these masks? Our parents, society, school, things like that. Like,
what's great about this is you shook the Darth Vader mask and you talked about the parents.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I am your father.
Yeah. And he was a terrible parent.
Right, but the whole paternity suit thing is still not.
Still
it keeps on choking the messengers.
So, just put your mask down. Put your defense down.
Yeah.
Be acceptable. Be open. Be vulnerable.
Totally.
Be present, and just say, I'm here to experience.
Yeah.
I'm here to learn about myself.
What I loved about that is, so a lot of people in the spiritual community then go, well, ego is my enemy. Ego's not your enemy. Ego is what keeps you alive.
Right.
If you didn't have an ego, you would have no self-preservation. So all these things exist for a reason.
Yeah.
In Hinduism.
Yeah, 100%. Don't hate the mask. Don't hate what it is.
We came here to play.
Yeah.
Just like kids.
It's
like
life. There's a lot of color out there.
Well, kids are a great metaphor. Kids play on the playground, and they play a game.
And they pretend to be everything.
Yeah, when the game is over, they're done, and let's play another game. Yeah. So in Hinduism, they call it Lila. Lila means God's play. In the West, we say God's creation. Mm-hmm. In Hinduism, they say God's play, which I prefer. God's play just means you are a kid on the playground. At 80 years old, you're a kid on the playground. At 40 years old, you're a kid on the playground, and you're playing with the toys and everything like that. Don't take it too seriously. You're just playing.
Yeah.
Put the mask down for a second when you're done playing with it. Recognize that you're playing it.
Recognize that you're on a fucking playground
Yeah.
called the Earth, called everywhere we would go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a billion beautiful things around you. There's all kinds of stuff everywhere. Take your freaking mask off for a second and just be you in that beautiful environment. And then put the next one on and have some fun.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing how many times we just think we have to be what we are and what we're wearing because that's the most important. And nobody learns from that lesson.
Well, we feel like we're going to get more love if we do.
Yeah.
My partner, Anna.
Or more of whatever that mask is that you think you're putting on.
Yeah, if I get to the top of it.
And no one can see you. You can't get any more of anything. No one can see you. You've put a mask on that you think is the right answer,
mm-hmm.
and then you want people to give you that, and they don't know who to give it to.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't receive beyond that, and then you're not necessarily able to take the mask off.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey talks about how he won like 6 Golden Globes, and he'd only be complete if he won 7. And you see a lot of actors go into rehab and things along those lines because they've gotten to the top of what they think is the top, and they realize that they still have to work through their stuff, and they still have to connect with the original being. My partner, Anna, she's given me many gifts. One gift that she's given me, and I've actually, quite frankly, been given these gifts by other people as well, the people that really, truly love you to your core. But she says to me all the time, I love all of you. And I say the same thing to her. I love all of you. Now, there's times where we will butt heads because that's what you do in a relationship. You work through things. But when we end with it is that part that I just saw, I love that part too. And one of the things that she gives me that is immensely powerful is she just says that continually. I love all of you. All of you. We wear a mask, I believe, often because we feel like we take that mask off, the love will be withheld from us. If we're not showing up a certain way, people will not love us. But to be loved in every single place is to be in a place of non-judgment, in a place of forgiveness, and a place of connection. If we can be in that state, we can do it with other people too. It has to start with ourselves. So I love all of you. I truly love all of you. And being able to love all of you allows you to be all of yourself. And you can just say, well, I love all of me anyway, so I can be all of myself. Not everyone feels that freedom. But if you can look at someone like you did at that bar, mm-hmm. and you can say, I don't care how you're acting right now. I love all of you, and I want to connect. That's the most healing thing you can offer somebody, because at that point, they know they're safe to take off the mask.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that I would have to say that, try to step back, take off a mask, try to, regardless of which one you put on. I mean, I put on lots all the time.
You put all of them on the table tonight.
And we've all put them on tonight.
Yeah, we need to clean them now.
I still have my bow tie on.
I know.
It is so hot.
In here?
It's a bow tie. No, the bow tie's hot.
All of these are like just plastic. So anything I put on myself, I felt like I was boiling.
Maybe that's where the problem is. What you don't realize is when you put something on, you're going to start suffocating regardless.
That is a beautiful metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it becomes limitation. Mm-hmm. It becomes a cage of your own creation.
Yeah, you're bound by the constraints of what you thought you wanted to be, when really just being you is all you ever needed to be.
Amen. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So,
I love you.
Because I love you.
I love you too. I love all of you.
Yep. And I love all you guys too. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being people who want to grow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Be that person to someone else who loves all of them. Take off the things that cause suffocation. Take off the masks. Or if you want to wear a mask, recognize you're wearing a mask and have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun with life.
Go to the party.
And go to James's party.
Yep. Go to my party. You can go to the selfie booth. Take some pictures.
I might bring that to your party.
Selfie booth?
I think it'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be a bit of a blast.
I'm going to do it.
Let's do it. I love it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you.
Yeah. Pinkie in the bed.
Pinkie in the bed. Where's our Elton John glasses?